Hello, dear friends. Exciting news about this world change keeps coming. Opinion piece, secret war, silent coup, epic revelation, boundless greed, hidden meetings, world peace sign, economic change, dark side collapse, Covert operations, financial liberation, end of maritime law, escape routes blocked, final operation stage, Whirlwind Operation, Earth is not overpopulated, 6,000 executives resign. Let's start. The coalition is carrying out covert operations to achieve the activation of the GISRA program after the fulfillment of confidential orders. According to Geisteller, it is a silent coup that is transforming the world right now. This is a secret war for the control of the financial system of the planet. A countdown begins for the greatest revelation in human history, with 10 days of truth and a redistribution of wealth. This is not just about financial liberation. It is open warfare against the old power structure. The coalition is executing high-risk operations to eliminate the last vestiges of influence from the dark side of the force. Underground bunkers, trafficking networks, and biological laboratories designed for population control have been seized. Since his return, President Trump has been relentless in executing the greatest economic change in human history. On February 4, 2025, he officially confirmed that GISRA is not only real, but is already in the process of restructuring the world's financial institutions. The Fed is being dismantled and its operations transferred to the Treasury. Globalist financial strongholds face massive scrutiny and liquidation as the coalition exposes decades of manipulation. Mainstream media remain silent and fails to report on the large numbers of resignations in the banking, corporate, and government sectors. Over 6,000 executives from major institutions have resigned or disappeared in recent weeks because they knew they would be exposed and decided to flee before the coalition came knocking on their door. Operations underway have already taken down important figures behind the global financial system, and quads are now operating in secret locations around the world. Huge amounts of gold and assets hidden by the elite have been recovered. These funds are being directed to support the implementation of GISRA, thus ensuring that the wealth is returned to the people. World peace. Following a secret meeting of Trump and Putin, the global elite is in panic. The plan to end the war in Ukraine, transform the banking cabal, and collapse the war machine is revealed. Both leaders are moving ahead with a historic summit that will take down the dark side war machine once and for all. The shadowy forces that run the war economy are in full crisis. The boldest geopolitical maneuver of the century is being executed. A direct peace deal with Russia that will end the ability to profit from war and chaos. Saudi Arabia and the Emirates have been selected as venues, not only because of their neutrality, but because these nations have already quietly cut their ties with the globalist financial cabal. This is not just about Ukraine. This is a war that extends to the entire global system. Trump and Putin are not just negotiating an end to the war. They are actively working to dismantle the banking empire that funds endless conflicts. Russia is moving to a gold-backed currency. Saudi Arabia is moving away from the dollar, and Trump's return threatens the entire fiat-based monetary system that the elite has built up over decades. Do you think it's a coincidence that just as this summit is being planned, the Western financial sector is on the brink of collapse? The Fed is hiding inflation figures. Deutsche Bank is losing money like crazy, and the European Central Bank is openly admitting that they may have to introduce crisis measures in 2025. The peace process is not about stopping a war. It's about exposing and dismantling a financial system that needs war to survive. Final phase. The final chapter of a battle is just around the corner. The EBS emergency broadcast system is ready to detonate a truth bomb so massive that it will shatter the illusion that enslaves humanity. This is the harsh reality that was attempted to be kept hidden. The global coalition is entering its final and most critical phase of the operation to dismantle the dark side and liberate humanity. The entire world is now a battlefield to execute this massive change. As of now, the activation of the EBS is not imminent, it is unavoidable. The latest intelligence data reveals that January was a turning point in the operation, but February has seen considerable progress. Experts confirm that over the weekend, Phase 0, the final operation stage, was completed. All contingencies have been accounted for, and all escape routes blocked. The remaining loyalists of the dark side are rounded up, their networks dismantled, and their leaders arrested. The dark side of the force is running out of room to maneuver. All attempts to trigger new conflicts, financial collapses, and health crises have been intercepted and neutralized. More shocking arrests, more public resignations, and perhaps attempts at false flag operations are expected in the days before EBS activation. Right now, they are erasing evidence of secret biolabs, human trafficking rings, and covert sabotage missions in Ukraine. The truth is much darker than most people are willing to admit. It is not just about covert operations or information sharing, but about global manipulation, human experimentation, and a systematic cover-up that has lasted for decades. Changes. The dark side of the force is in a state of panic. Its system is being revealed to the public, and it is only a matter of time until the people see the culprits. Operation Whirlwind has begun. Cash Paddle is ready to bang the hammer and set the stage. The US and Russia agreed to work to end the war in Ukraine during high-level talks in Riyadh, signaling a possible thaw in relations. Ukraine was excluded from the talks, prompting outrage from Zelensky, who fears being left out of a deal that could jeopardize Western aid. According to Mike Adams, things are about to get kinetic in the US and Mexico as an end to the Russia-Ukraine conflict is negotiated. Next on the target list are the Mexican drug cartels, which Trump has just branded as foreign terrorist organizations. This means that attacks in Mexico are just around the corner, which could trigger retaliatory attacks on vulnerable targets in the US, carried out by very capable cartel networks. On top of that, the nitpickers declared their support for a violent French-style revolution in 1789. In other words, the year 2025 is about to get even more interesting and dangerous. Big picture. Make way for abundance in the golden age, writes Stacey Peth. President Trump is probably the most feared man on the planet, packed with persons with weapons like Elon Musk and Robert Kennedy Jr. This is all for show, of course. We know that the benevolent families have triumphed over darkness, and the daunting task now is to break the bad news to the normies of the world while applying a user type's self to soothe the open wounds as the coalition reveals the darkest secrets. The shocking truth won't hurt so much when there is a little sugar to help the medicine go down, and the suggestion of giving back to the people a significant portion of the funds recovered from Elon's audits would be just what is needed. Don't be put off by the naysayers who tell us that Gisara doesn't exist. Yes, there is. It simply uses various programs to give us back the money that has been taken from us for aeons. And those in charge are always managing the masses and want us to be accountable, engaged and thoughtful and responsible. They will not give us millions of dollars simply because we deserve them. They will use a number of strategies to sort the abundance that comes back in a way that makes sense to people who are just waking up. You will never give a bunch of money to someone who has not technically earned it and doesn't understand why they are the recipient or how to keep it. You wouldn't do that to your 12-year-old, to your son, 12 years old, and guardians wouldn't do that to humankind. Elon Musk's audits are uncovering unbridled greed to channel illicit funds, launder money, and hide theft. The scope of this is staggering. Taxes, birth certificates, insurance, money coming out of nowhere, gold, and so many ways to cheat. Summary by Fulford. Benjamin Fulford confirms that negotiations are underway to back the dollar with gold. This is why the price of gold is approaching $3,000 an ounce. This proposal concerns only foreign debt. Domestically, it is becoming increasingly clear that Trump is on the verge of ending the Babylonian debt system. As Ron Paul says, in quote, "When I say cut taxes, I don't mean change the code. I mean abolish the income tax and the IRS and replace them with nothing." Elon Musk confirms he will audit the Fed. He also supports eliminating all property taxes. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Maxine Waters wants Fed Chief Jerome Powell. We don't know everything they have on us. Senior Trump administration officials met with Canada's 13 provincial premiers on Wednesday, telling them they will not back down from joining Canada. President Trump signed an executive order to end the strawman. This will end Maritime Law. The American corporation will disappear along with the old corporate entity. You will enter the new republic, sovereign and free from the birth certificate indenture. When your parents signed your birth certificate, they were signing over property to the British Crown. Kennedy also expressed support for Trump's crackdown on the foreign aid agency USAID, calling it spreading totalitarianism and war, and adding, "We are going to give farmers a way out of the current system that destroys their health, damages the soil, makes citizens sick, and destroys family farms." They also want to wipe out the food supply. Why are only farm animals affected by bird flu while wild birds remain virtually untouched? India will be part of the building coalition between Russia and the US that puts an end to the hope of Chinese hardliners to replace the US as the new world superpower. Since the war in Ukraine is de facto over, the North Koreans have withdrawn from that country. They suffered 4,000 casualties, it is to say, a third of their forces, but learned valuable lessons of modern warfare. Most likely, Poland, Hungary, Slovakia, Romania, and Bulgaria will divide Ukraine between themselves. It also appears that some work is underway to clean up the underground bases. In Greece, 200 shallow earthquakes have been recorded on the remote island of Santorini in recent days. A state of emergency has been declared in the region, forcing all residents to leave the area immediately. Evidence suggests that extensive cleanup operations were carried out, accompanied by strong tremors caused by powerful underground explosions. Santorini is believed to be related to the original civilization of Atlantis. In addition, earthquakes are occurring in Hong Kong, where there are never earthquakes, indicating that Chinese underground tunnels are being destroyed. North Korea, meanwhile, has just announced that it is open to tourism and invites Chinese and Westerns to visit. This is a sign of world peace. It seems that the planet has been under the control of people or entities in plural hostile to the life force who have destroyed nature while simultaneously trying to wipe out humanity, but have been defeated. This means that the human population can now expand to over 100 billion inhabitants, even as natural reserves are expanded. If each family of four members had about 700 square meters of land to grow its own food, the entire human population would fit in an area the size of Iran. Almost all the vegetables needed by a family of four could be stored in a garden of a couple of hundred square meters. The earth is not overpopulated. Breaking news. Trump officially names Kash Patel as FBI director. Howard Lutnick confirms abolishment of IRS, leading to abolishment of the Fed. The IRS is expected to lay off about 6,000 employees, according to CNN. Elon Musk warns that the US is heading for bankruptcy unless $1 trillion of deficit is cut. Trump wants Zelensky to move fast or lose Ukraine. Elon Musk accuses Zelensky of the death of journalist Gonzalo Lira in a Ukrainian prison for publishing videos on YouTube critical of the regime. Elon Musk told Zelensky, in quotes, "You don't call elections. You murdered journalist Gonzalo Lira, and the Biden administration buried him." The new Ukrainian government will prosecute Zelensky for state corruption. Russia wants that Ukraine is about to use a dirty nuclear bomb to try to spark the Third World Party. The US government has frozen all arms shipments to Ukraine, according to the chairman of the Ukrainian Parliament's Defense Committee, Roman Kostenko. MSNBC host urges viewers to shoot Trump to save democracy. This is a threat against the president and should be prosecuted. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.